Okay, so your homework involves making a graph, and you want to know how to do that. Well, you've come to the right place because I'm going to show you exactly how it's done. So in class, you should have made, or maybe you need to start with this step, but the first step that you're going to do is put all of your data into columns. So we were measuring the density of different objects, so we have all of our objects in this column, and then we've written the density in this column. Notice how there are no letters or units written in these boxes. That's because Excel is a computer and it doesn't quite understand what you're talking about in units because it only can interpret the numbers, just like a calculator. So we don't want to confuse it, so we're going to put the units up at the top. Okay, so the first step is to highlight all of your information. I put some titles here, objects here, and the density here. We're not going to highlight that information, just the objects and the numbers. And then what you want to do is you want to insert, and you're going to insert a graph. So you're going to look at all these couple options over here. For today, you're going to be using the bar graph. Also called the column chart, which is what Excel refers to it as, but just make sure that you're selecting the option that has bars that go up and down, and you're going to pick this very first option. So look at that, that looks pretty good. You can see pretty easily that the metal cylinder in my fake made up data is the most dense, much more so than the spool, which is very low down here. Okay, but we're not quite done yet because we want to make sure that anybody reading this chart would be able to find out information pretty easily. So we're going to change the title by double-clicking and then highlighting to change the text. We want the title to say density of objects. Okay, because all of these numbers are going to talk about density. We're still not done yet. We want to make sure we also include axis titles. So maybe in math class you've heard of this bottom row being referred to as the x-axis, and this is the y-axis. You can also call this one the vertical or the horizontal axis. But so we want to make sure that we put labels on these. So we are going to click this green check mark or plus mark, and because we want to add axis titles, and as I hovered over that you can see that these two little boxes popped up over either axis. So you're going to look at all the information here and say, what are these things? And these are our objects, and these numbers refer to density. And because we don't have units written anywhere in here, and we all know that units are very important to include, we're going to include our units at the end of this word density by writing in parentheses grams per milliliter. Okay, so this looks really good. And this is something that you could definitely turn in and get full credit for because it looks pretty nice. It's easy to read, and it shows all of your information that you collected. When you go to print this out, the easiest way that I have found to do that is to click on this chart. See how, and you can tell that it's highlighted because of all the boxes around the corners. You're going to select it and copy it. And then you're going to open up a Word document, a blank one, and paste it into there. I just hit Control V. You can also, if you prefer, you can right click and then hit paste. And here's all the different paste options. But so here I have my graph nicely laid out. Make sure that you also include your name when you're turning this in. So if I were turning this in, I would put my name up here, and so on, like you would turn in any other assignment. But if your homework looks something like this, then that means that you have done it correctly. If not,